What's going on, everyone? It's DC3 Johnson here, giving you guys another video on MLB 19. We're getting closer and closer to the launch of MLB 20, so I do want to crank out these videos as quickly as possible to try to get us to get to MLB 20 on time. So where we last left off, I did say I wanted to train Dan because I'm not really using him. He's in AAA. We can get rid of the $5 million contract, save payroll. So let's take a look at some of these trade offers. Oh, yeah, we'll take that one. I need a reliever. And 70K, it's not bad. So that frees up money. So right now we're down to less than 60 million. So we're going to go for Craig here, try to upgrade our closing pitcher, because we did trade Romo in the previous video, which if you haven't checked it out, I definitely recommend you should check it out. So he is kind of resistant to our offers here. Okay, take the one. No, and he doesn't want the 1 year. He wants a long term, so or a 2-year deal. So we do sign him for that 2 year. We'll see if we keep him for the 2nd year. Granted, I do think what I'm gonna do for 2020 is I am gonna import it to MLB The Show 20. I've never done that before. I've always been curious to see how that works. So I think that we'll probably end up, which will probably be accurate. I think by the time the game comes out in mid-March or mid to late March, we'll be right towards the end of the season here, because we're like midway through right now, going through the draft. And so the one guy, well, I this is the one thing I never understood. Like, I know that 80 is what represents the highest potential here, but I don't like the way it's organized. So I don't know if it's based on like the overall, like the scouting mock draft, that's what it's based on, but it's a little confusing for me. So I did organize it by, obviously you want to get the people with the little blue little circle on the left. That's what's ideal here. Do I want to go with Steven? I don't know. I would want to get a pitcher, because definitely, like I said, defense for me is very important. So I guess we'll go with the top of that. So we'll go with Israel. See how we do there. Oh, and this is another thing I didn't understand, was how the competitive balance works. Like, I'm assuming this is based on trades or something, which for some reason in franchise mode you're not able to trade draft picks. So I guess you're just kind of stuck with what you have, which I guess makes it easy for people to not tank compared to the NBA, where the NBA is well known for tanking. Let's see. We did get a pitcher in the first round. Yeah, I think we're going to go with a reliever. Yeah. Yeah, looks like he's the top. I mean, accuracy is also something that has to play a factor. You want to go with the most accurate, because sometimes it could be like they're giving you someone that's going to be an 80, but it's not that accurate, and so you end up getting bullshitted. So it is kind of a pick of a luck. It kind of reminds me a lot of NHL, because NHL has that mode that's called Fog of War that won't allow you to kind of like view potential stats. Like it won't allow you to see what their overall is. It'll just give you a rating similar to this, but sometimes it could be wrong, sometimes it could be right. It's based on how much scouting you put on the player. Yeah, we'll go with a catcher on this one. So I believe there's 6 rounds, so we got 2 more here. So we did catcher, we did a starting pitcher, we did a reliever. I think we're going to go with another catcher, because 75 potential, 19, yeah. I think we're going to go with Osuna here. Alright, one more. The bottom of the barrel here. So I can either go with, yeah, I guess I'm going to go with him. I just, whatever. At that point, I feel like that's not going to work out, but we'll see. So for me, my overall rule is if their potential says they're less than like a 75 or something, I won't sign them. So obviously my starting pitcher from the first round has a high potential. Obviously we're gonna sign Yamamoto here, 85 overall, and then actually I'm actually surprised. My last pick actually has a higher overall than my catcher, so yeah, it's not gonna work out. Randy though. This is a tough call, but I think I am gonna go with Randy though. So that's not bad. I think 4 picks out of 6 is not bad. Let's go back to where we were. You know, I do want us to kind of end maybe like another week more, like basically on the home stretch or the away stretch of the St. Louis series. So we do beat them at home 2-1. We did lose to the Braves 3 games in a row, so that did make me a little nervous because I'm like, we don't want to lose too many division games. That's not good. Henderson has a 13-game hitting streak, 15-game hitting streak. Yeah, I guess we'll do it. I mean, if it works out, oh my God, we're only a game and a half ahead of the Mets. That's not good. Remember, my goal here is to try to finish 3rd or 4th in the division. I don't want to finish last. I definitely don't want to be the last team in the American League anymore. So, come performance review time, we want to make sure we do well. And so I think these critical situations to us it's kind of important because it works out for us in the sense of like it allows us to kind of be there in certain situations, helps team, and that didn't work out. But you know, it does go both ways, so I think it's very fair. There are times where I end up helping the team, and then there are times where I do things like this where I end up hurting the team in terms of like, and see, we didn't even get another chance to bat again, so we end up losing the game because of the fact that I couldn't bring it home. So it does cut both ways, which is great. I think it makes it fair. Right here I do want to take a look at our pitching, because even though they both say they're 77 or in their high 70s, it looks like some of them are like in their mid 70s rather, or like actual. So morale seems fine. I mean, Granderson is going down in terms of overall. I think when he started the season, he was like a 71, 72. But I think it's just because of age. You know, because he would be a 66 if he wasn't happy. So it's not morale. We have to figure out exactly what the problem is. I definitely see some weakness in Urienda. So this is one of the. So we'll put Richards to replace him. So this is the one strategy where I'm telling you pitchers to me is important, because I'm the kind of person, granted I think this is the last year I can do this, but I always like to have 6 starting pitchers of high caliber, because that way, and the reason why I prefer it that way is because it allows us to have that pitcher that could replace someone mid-season in case they're having a slump, and also in case we have to go into late games, we have a starting pitcher, because starting pitcher ready to go to pitch all the way to the end. I literally have games where, and see, I have Uriendas here, so I have a starter literally, and we're in the 10th. I've had games where it's gone all the way to the 17th inning, and then I think it ended on the 18th. And by the time we got there, they ran out of pitchers, and I was still holding on with the same pitcher, the same starter pitcher, because you know, starters obviously are meant to go a lot longer than relievers. So I think one of the reasons why we won overall that game was because of the fact that they had run out of people, because the thing with the National League games is, you know, they have to keep replacing their pitcher whenever they want to do a pinch hit. So, you know, that's great. They get another hitter, but because there's no DH, they basically have to keep substituting pitchers, and so one time they run out, they go to the bottom of the barrel, and the pitcher gets tired, he makes a mistake, and we capitalize. So, but I think this is the last year, because I think MLB changed the rule where they're only allowed to have like 27 players on the active roster now. Because, you know, once we get towards the latter half of the season, I think it's once we get to September, late August, September, our roster will go up to 40. We'll have a lot of rookies and a lot of people from AAA that will be probably subbing in and out to kind of see if it helps our chances. Because remember, we're not probably gonna make the playoffs. This is a lost season, but we do want to give the fans something, their money's worth. At the end of the day, that's, I think, one of the reasons why the Marlins are doing so terrible, is because they probably spent a bunch of money to get that new stadium, and they just haven't been able to produce something worthy. And so they're probably like, oh, well, we don't have any backup cash, so I think that's why they've been going on money reserves. But also, it's also a lot of stuff, I'm pretty sure. I mean, from what I've heard, the ownership group is not really that great. Now with Derek Jeter, I don't know about turnaround, but you know. But then again, I can't talk about my boss. He's gonna give me a performance review at the end of October, and I do want to stay for another year here. So the weather's fantastic. That's all I will say. We have a retractable roof, and the weather is nice, which I can't say for this game in St. Louis. It's raining outside. They need to get themselves a retractable roof. So see, I know that this potentially could be controversy. So I did that on purpose. So first of all, shout out to our boy Granderson, who 38 literally hit a clutch hit. So the reason why I did this was because the defense was gonna have to pick between getting the easy out or throwing it home and get the out. So regardless, whichever way they would have chosen, we would have been in a really good position to score. We would have actually scored, which is what ended up happening, or they would have gotten the guy home out, and we would have had Granderson in third, which would a base hit or a bunt, would have basically brought the run home. So it's one of those sacrifices that, like, you're doing it on purpose to kind of get them to pick and choose. And for the most part, the CPU always goes for the easy out. I always go for home. I don't care if I'll have the bases loaded. I'm stopping the run. Oh, I guess they want me to do a pinch hitter. Fine. Yeah, so I have three options: either Sierra, Alvarez, or O'Brien. I did have success with Alvarez. However, they kind of recommend Sierra based on the percentage on base. But in terms of overall, I like O'Brien, so I'll go with him.
We'll grab a bat and hit for the pitcher here.
Because he has a really good contact rating. And this is the other thing you guys have to remember in National League. Since you pinch hit the pitcher, you want to warm up a pitcher so that way they're ready to go by the time the inning is over. Which in my case, since we're up by 1, I already put the closer, not the official closer, but the guy I'm putting as closer, and we steal the base. Which, you know, because I haven't really played with Craig yet, so I don't want to jinx it and not do well. So I am going to go with second rider. Oh, I think this might go. And
gone up into the second deck.
I was holding on. I was like, oh, is it gone? It is. And yeah, 7-4.
Home run number 5 on the year, and it's now 7-4.
We did a really good call with getting O'Brien into we're getting O'Brien from the bench here. It worked out perfectly. Yeah, that was a good hit, especially with the rain. Oh, they brought someone else to try to get me out. At this point, it's over, man. Down 3, but you know, I guess you always have to fight until the end, so I respect it.
John Birdie.
John.
As he'll go after
Birdie.
the first pitch and bounce it into foul territory. It's been a 2-for-4 effort for him so far in the ball game. The windup and the 0-1. Grounded down the third baseline, but this will get foul for strike 2. The windup and the 0-2 pitch. Lazy fly ball out to center field. Bader has it in his sights. He hauls it in without any trouble, and there are 2 away.
Now batting.
Striding in, Miguel Rojas. He's looking for his 3rd hit of the ball game here. First pitch of the at-bat on its way. Grounder down the line at 3rd, but this is foul for the first strike. Into the windup, here comes the 0-1. This is line to left. Ozuna is there, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. So they pick up 3 runs on 4 hits here. No errors and no one left on base. One last shot here as we go to the bottom of the 11th now. Miami's out in front 7-4. Drew Steckenrider
So see,
gets the call from the pen,
by the
and they
time we
say for the
started,
11th,
he was
this will try
already
to take this one
pretty
home.
much warmed up. And he had about 2 outs to work with to kind of get warmed up. And granted, I didn't do well once they brought the new pitcher, so... But because of that little bit of extra time that he had to warm up, he's not coming out cold. Because the problem with bringing a pitcher out in the cold, like, they could potentially blow it. Especially, I would say especially during rainy conditions. You know, they might slip, and then it brings a run. Granted, I think now we have a little more of a comfortable cushion because we're up by 3. Before we were only up by 1, so I was a lot more hesitant. Because, you know, at the end of the day, and they're gonna delay the game.
Crew chief has made the call to suspend action.
You know, Matt, I just get the feeling this isn't going to be.
Oh, we're keeping the pitcher. If it's only 30 minutes, we'll keep him. Worst case scenario, he gets a little cold, and I'll just switch him out.
And welcome back inside the ballpark as the weather has finally cleared up. Drew Steckenrider makes his way back out onto the mound, and we're ready to
But yeah,
continue.
so
Set to face
sorry,
him
I lost my
first,
train of
Paul
thought for a
DeYoung.
second because of the rain delay.
Not too often
But
you see a change
definitely
across
it
the
could go
line.
wrong, and then the
88
cushion.
miles an hour
Now that we
on
have
the
like a
gun,
little bit of a
still
cushion, you know, we can kind of,
throwing a fastball
you
at
know,
90
breathe a
still.
little easier. Because, you know, with a 1-run lead, you always face the possibility that you throw a bad pitch, the guy makes a hit,
That's a pretty set
and
attempt
all of a
at
sudden
hitting
you're
the ball
tied.
right there.
You know.
No doubt
So,
he was completely fooled because that was a
now we're in a lot more
curveball,
comfortable
and it looked like he was
position.
late on a
We struck
curveball.
out this guy,
That tells me he
so
gave
we're
up
down
on it
to
right till the
they're
very
down to
end,
1
and
out.
obviously there was nothing he could do at that point.
Here's the catcher, Yadier Molina, as he'll take a look at ball
Yeah,
1.
of course, that was
He
actually
comes
really
into
bad.
this appearance
Really
in the
bad
midst of a 1-for-4 day.
Yadier Molina. I wonder if it's a... Yeah, see, I'm not really good with baseball. Like, I don't know a lot of the people. I know I know the superstars from the league.
Bases are empty here
But I
with
wonder
2
if it's the
men out.
same Molina that like was like playing for the Blue Jays.
2 balls and a
Because I
strike
know
to
like
Molina.
they were putting him on the cover of like baseball games and stuff, or at least the Canadian version to kind of like
Popped up, Bell
draw
has
more
room in
sales.
foul
And
territory.
I know a lot of
This
people,
will
like a
not
lot of
be
games are
caught.
doing
It's a
that now.
foul
Like
ball.
NBA Live was I think one of the first ones
Cardinals
that
down to their final
started
strike
doing were
here.
like a Spanish
Swing and a
version where
miss.
they'll
He
put Paul
struck him out,
Gasol
and
or
that'll do it here
Tony
as the ball
Tony
game
Parker
is
because
over.
it's for the
They
French
had to put in a
version.
couple of extra innings of work, but
And
hey, listen,
we
hope
do end
is
up
a
getting
win,
the last
and any
strikeout,
win is
so they
good,
go 3 and out,
especially on the road.
and
7-4
we end
is
up picking the
final
win
score in
here.
tonight's game. Miami hosted a
7-4.
3-run
I'm actually
first to
really
propel them
happy
to
with
the
this
win.
result here,
Caleb Smith
especially
gets
because
the win in
I
relief, his
believe we
second of
did
the
beat.
year.
Yeah,
Drew
we
Steckenrider
did beat St.
records the
Louis
save, his
2-1
12th of the
at
season.
home,
So
but
that just
we
about
also
does it for
since we
Roger
did lose
Rosa, Dan
against
Plesac,
Pittsburgh,
Heidi
we
Watney, and our
wanna
entire crew on that
we wanna win
excursion.
these
You've been
games
watching
because
MLB The
we don't want to
Show.
be
For
too
more,
close to the
make your way
Mets.
over to theshowNation.com.
Because if we go on a losing streak and they go on a winning streak, they might pull away to the point where we won't be able to catch up to them. And the fact that my winning pitcher is 2-3 just says everything right there. Alright guys, but I think we'll leave the video here. This is exactly where I want to leave off, so stay tuned. I'll try to crank out another part soon. DC3